The issue of this year's International Journalism Week, we will talk about the new faces of journalism, is centered in a concern that I would say is related to media here in Spain, but I would say all around the world. We'll start with Professor Jairo Lugo-Ocando, that was scheduled for tomorrow morning at this hour, but
there are journalists who do link all the points, and there are journalists who do this all the time. Sadly, it's not the majority. And I think one of the things that journalism need to look and to start experimenting is to first to develop and be sure to sustain their own news agenda. What normally happens is the main newspapers say that this is what is news, and the rest of the newspapers and media follows that. You know, so everybody's replicating, and there's a process of pack thinking. So everybody thinks this is the news agenda. Very few people stands out and says, actually, these things are the most important for my community, for my readers, for my audiences, and this is the type of things I should be covering. And because of that, we have agendas that not necessarily comply or respond to the real problems of the communities that we cover. The second thing that, that of course happens too there is that the journalist concentrates too much in the problems. They find an issue, there's rubbish in the streets, or there's bad service in an institution, and rather than identifying only the problem, which is what most of the journalists do, they should also say, well, this is the solution, this is the possible solution, this is the people who can do something. Let's put them to talk in the articles, starting to create a dialogue, you know, and allowing that dialogue to provide possible solution. I think that would be a much better journalism than the one we do. Well, instead of only listening to, for example, the problem and occasionally interviewing a minister, so he comes with this knee-jerk reaction saying, oh, we're going to increase the levels of the exams, talk to a series of specialists and teachers themselves and students themselves, involve them in the discussion, and provide a different type of journalism, a different type of solution, saying, well, actually, in these cases, it's better to do this, and try also to avoid universal solutions for everybody. Every community also will have different approaches and needs for what they do. Well, it's a book about how the global media, what we call the global media, covers poverty. And it's based on a 3-year research on different media outlets like CNN, BBC, The Times, the New York Times, etc., and how they represent poverty and articulate the discourses of poverty. So first of all, I expect it sells well, hopefully, but also that it has some sort of impact among journalists who read them, who reads this book, and understand that they can do things better, and that the journalism is not only about reproducing existing discourses, but also about changing and transforming society.